Hello everyone, in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the GotFriends cart. This rather interesting curiosity from the good friends over at GotFriends for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, and it's not what I expected, not gonna lie. When I first looked at this thing, I'm like, who would make a car for this game? And then I looked around and went, wait a minute, you know how much fun it would be to have a car inside of a game that has traffics and territory like this? Oh yeah, let's do it. So what we're going to see today is just kind of the basics of this thing. It is fascinating, to say the least, and it's a ton of fun, and I've already started implementing it in all sorts of different little experiments, because I just don't know. I think it's just so darn cool. So anyway, press Control-C, climb on in. So first things first, if you're a VR person, if you take a look at this thing, you'll immediately start going, oh my goodness, this thing's tiny. It is tiny. Like, my feet are out the bottom of this. It's like that tiny. A couple other things you're going to notice is they kept it incredibly simple as far as the engineering of this thing goes. Like I said, none of the buttons are really in weird places or anything along those lines. They definitely tried to design this thing to be just go. However, you'll notice for one thing, I've got myself little flappy pedals on the sides. You'll also notice that I've got myself my little handbrake, basically a little customization button. If you press this button, check this out. You can actually come in here, you can press like the different buttons. You can put like the sound stuff. You can put the little flag on the back of it. You can adjust like what type of pedals you have on it. You can do racing wheels on it, which is what I'm going to do. You can put like the side mufflers. You can put like the modern thing. I don't know. It's just one of those things like we didn't need any of that level of customization, but I don't care because I think it's absolutely fantastic. One of the things that makes this a little challenging, however, is it was not intended to be used really with people who use traditional joysticks. Now, for example, you see my wheels going back and forth here. I'm actually working on rudder pedals right now. I'm not working on basically a steering wheel, although there's nothing stopping you from using a steering wheel. They recommend using an Xbox controller for this. The other thing you'll notice is because we've got all these kind of funny buttons, they assign the buttons in kind of unusual ways. And what I'll do real quickly here is just kind of open up and show you the buttons that I chose to set up. I'm just going to come over here and say filter assigned. You can see, obviously, these are all my standard ones for this particular item, but you'll notice here that you have to do both brake axes if you want to stop this. Otherwise, you only get one. The other thing you'll notice here is our ailerons axis and our elevator axis. Again, our elevator axis. You can actually have some air control in this particular, I was about to say aircraft. The other thing that's really important to bind, and this is really, really tricky when I first played with this, is when you're going through this, you see the flaps buttons? You're going to need those for the purposes of changing gear. The other thing you need to watch out for is your throttle axis is your throttle axis, as in your gas pedal axis. So kind of keep that in mind when you are setting this thing up. So that is a very, very, very simple thing to set up. We're just going to come to the on-off start. We're going to click it to the on position. I love the fact that this is a cell phone. Like, it's just a little cell phone tripping, basically, here. And you've got your little fuel gauge. You've got a nitrous. You've got your little RPM. Keep in mind, like I said, there is a manual transmission version. I selected the automatic transmission version because there's one less thing I got to worry about. You know exactly what I mean as far as that goes. So swinging here to start it, you just go like this. And that is really all there is to it. Like I said, they keep it very, very simple. Now, the first thing you have to do is you're going to have to pop this thing into gear. So to do that into gear, you just go ahead and pop your flaps up button. Again, if you're in manual mode, you would have to go ahead and actually go through, basically change an individual. But basically, all I have to do is pop it into gear. I'm holding my brakes pretty hard right now. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the parking brake to go ahead and engage it. And you can see it comes off pretty easily. There it goes. Uh-oh. There it is. Uh-oh. Turns out it didn't save my binding. Sorry about that. Control space. We're good to go. All right, let's give this thing a try. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to feed in a little gas. Good friends. Okay, that's absolutely hilarious. And we're just going to kind of get going. Now, one of the things that surprises me, of course, is you got to remember, Flight Sim was never, ever, ever intended for something like this. This is definitely one of those kind of items that we weren't originally intending to do. And in case you couldn't guess by taking a look at the familiar track here, actually, I don't remember. It's been so long since I've been to Nürburgring. Whoa, I don't remember this part of Nürburgring. But one of the cool things is your gas is separate from your brake. Whoa, lock the tires up. Oh, first corner. Here we go. Oh, no. Shows you how long it's been since I've flown right into the curbs. Let's go. Now, as you can see, this thing is moving pretty quick. Oh! I think we're in the air. By the way, get used to flying it once you do get it. Oh, I think we're upside down. So if this happens to you, again, you can always press your Shift and Z here to kind of get going. Now, one of the things I was mentioning a little bit earlier is the folks who like to do things in VR. And I love doing things in VR, but this is one of the few vehicles that even though you can get away with it, I don't necessarily recommend getting away with it. So one of the things oh my gosh, driving with your feet is very hard. So one of the things you'll probably notice is this thing is bouncing around hard as I'm kind of ripping along here. Oh, I'm going to have to stomp on the brakes so hard in a second. think this thing's about 300 horsepower, by the way, if you're curious. Oh, into the garage, right into the marbles. At least I don't have to worry about like the durability of my wheels or anything like that. One of the things they do recommend you do in the manual there is to actually go ahead and disable damage. One of the fun things you'll discover, and I'll try to demonstrate this. Can I do it? Can I do it? Yes! I've never used rudder pedals to drive a car before. But one of the things you have is a nitrous button. If you push that, which would be incredibly stupid right now. Whoa! Huh, I landed it. I shut the nitrous off. Yes, you can bind the nitrous to a key there, so you don't run into the situation I ran into. But as you can see, this thing is perfectly capable of going incredibly stupid speeds. And one of the things I really like about it is because it doesn't weigh much. If you need to just hold the gas forward and just use your brake to control your speed, you could literally just ride the brake the entire time. Like if I would go this way and let go, again, that was just with the brake. I haven't touched the throttle here. It's just, I don't know, it's staggering. And of course, let's do some. Whee! I was trying to get to the fun part of the track here, as you can probably imagine. Whoa! This is so stupid. Yeah, this is the part of the track I want to be on. There we go. I remember taking Porsche 911s and GTR in this game through this. Or was it a GTR Evolution? There we go. Now we got straight away. So as you can see, it goes. It has no problem with high speed here. It'll go right across this part. I think this is that unload. Yeah, it is. We're going into the woods, as I would always joke with my crew. So as you can see, this thing is so much fun. You can take it off-road. You can take it out on Nürburgring here, which obviously I'm doing an awful job of. But it gives you an idea. Another cool feature you have on this one is you actually have the ability to turn on some lights. And I actually think they did a pretty nice job right here. Got kind of the upper lights and the lower lights. And you can actually come in here when you're outside and adjust the actual lights themselves, which is, again, just one of those little details. One of the things I said earlier is you can do the manual transmission part. And if you are interested in that, let's go take a look real quick. So when you're in the actual selection menu, there is the manual transmission option. Honestly, I don't recommend it unless you're like on an Xbox controller or you plug your actual steering wheel into this to go hard on it. One thing you got to watch out for are trees. If you hit them, they launch you in the air. If you try to go under a bridge and you're not on damage off mode, you will also get ejected into the air. So just be mindful of that. But other than that, you get some really, really fun little liveries to kind of go with all of it. I'm a huge fan of the Cobalt, naturally. Although the garage is kind of fun, too. It's kind of got that nice little dark look to it. But other than that, enjoy.